Hello everyone, it's Lori with Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary. It is Saturday morning, about 3:30, 4 a.m., and I'm winding my work night down, taking care of some of the rescued snakes that are part of the 67 that were relinquished to us from the Midwest due to neglect, criminal neglect. This is one of them right here. This is Bacus. And I'm happy to say he has a pending adoption. So this is where we're at right now. We're 2.5 weeks into this operation, and every one of the 67 snakes has seen the veterinarian and had a full exam. Several of them needed further diagnostics because issues were found, and one actually has to go see a specialist. There's an eye issue, and one of the snakes has to see a veterinary ophthalmologist. We do have the snakes grouped now into categories. Those categories are group 1, or ready for adoption. Ready right now that they can go to a new home as soon as we have an approved adopter, an adoption contract signed, and travel arrangements made. Group 2 is that they're going to have to stay here a little bit longer, but they don't have anything majorly serious wrong. And as soon as their rehab is completed, then they can go to their new homes. And that's the category that Bacus is in. Bacus has some stuck shed that we need to address. And he is also emaciated. So he is a 2 on the body condition scale. And 1 and 2 is very emaciated. If they are 1 to 3 on the body condition score, they have to stay here until they are at least a 4. And so he's a 2, and he's pretty thin for his age and size. He's going to have to be nutritionally rehabbed. He's going through a very careful refeeding plan, and he does have an adopter though. So once that refeeding plan is done and we see that he is successfully nutritionally rehabbed, he's fit again, his body condition score is at least a 4, then he can go to his new home. And then the third category is that they're going to have to stay here indefinitely. And that is because they have so many special needs, so many things wrong, that there is no end in sight as far as when they can leave. We don't know if they will ever become adoptable, and there are a few that we don't even know if they're going to live. So that's where we're at, and I just wanted to give everybody an update. I've had a few people ask me about donations, and the donations through PayPal Giving Fund get paid out once a month. So we got paid out $6,444 on the 25th of April, and that was for the donations that we got through a certain point in April, whatever their cutoff date is. And then on May 25th, we will get the rest of your donations that you made in April and then this first part of May. So our veterinary expenses so far, and I'm rounding because I don't remember the exact numbers, have been $6,500. That's $6,500. Many of you donated directly to Critter Care Animal Hospital, and that was fantastic because after all the snakes were seen and I went to pay the bill, it was much less than I thought it was going to be. It was 3 appointments. We went up there 3 times to get all the snakes seen, and a couple of the snakes had to go up there for rechecks. And I think out of pocket, it was $3,300 and some dollars. So a $6,500 veterinary bill ended up being about $3,300, and that's because so many of you donated directly to Critter Care Animal Hospital, and I cannot thank you enough and tell you what a wonderful surprise that was to find out we had that much of a credit. So the remainder of that was taken out of the PayPal Giving Fund donations that we got paid out in April. A couple of people have mailed physical checks. Those were put in the bank. One is specifically for veterinary expenses, and that's what it's going to go towards. We are very careful to use your dollars wherever you have designated them to be used. So if you donated directly to Critter Care Animal Hospital, that money is going to veterinary expenses. If you mailed a check and said, I want it to be used for vet, or I want it to be used for feeders, that's what it's going to be used for. The money that's given through the PayPal giving fund goes into our general fund, and that is the money that we draw from to pay for everything else, to pay for any additional veterinary expenses, to pay for fuel and travel, to pay for propane because that's what heats our facility, to pay for feeders, to pay for more enclosures, to pay for the things that we're putting in the enclosures. Any expenses that come up, which is a lot for these guys, that's what we're using that general fund for. And so I'll give you another update when we know what our finances look like next month. But this has been already a pretty expensive operation. The animal emergency response transport team had to fly to the location, rent a van, and then drive here to the sanctuary with the 67 snakes and the parrot. That was not inexpensive. And then our trips to the vet, our trips for supplies, all of the supplies. Now, many of you have donated through PayPal Giving Fund, but also some of you have bought items off of our Amazon or Chewy's wish list. That is also extremely helpful. Some of these grow tents came off of the wish list on Amazon, and we have some more up there because we're trying to get every single snake out of a tub, out of a temporary tent, out of whatever they're in temporarily, and into a grow tent where they can have environmental stimulation, where we can put overhead heating and lighting. And that's going to be for the snakes that are here longer term, the midterm to long-term snakes. The short-term snakes are going to start going to their new homes this month and into next month. So we already have 6, possibly 7 snakes that are being transported to St. Louis by one of our volunteers, and then some people are going to pick those snakes up in St. Louis. And then we have a few people that are coming directly here to Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary to pick up their snakes, and they're going to get a tour of the sanctuary. And Colorado has lots and lots of neat things to do. We have the Air Force Academy, the Olympic Training Center, Garden of the Gods. There are 3 really nice zoos here in Colorado, including the Pueblo Zoo and the Denver Zoo. There is the Royal Gorge. There's Pikes Peak. There's the Mining Museum. There's the National Ice Core Sampling Museum. There's the Butterfly Pavilion. There is the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Tons of stuff. The Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center. So if you want to come and pick up your snake in person and make a vacation of it, we would be happy to show you around, or we would be happy to give you lots and lots of possible things for you to do. So that is my update. And until next time, everybody, please remember to always be kind and love your animals. Okay, one quick clarification, because otherwise my logistics person and my admin person is going to be mad at me, because I was talking about the groups and the phases like they were the same thing, and they're not. So group 1 snakes are the snakes that are ready for adoption now. Group 2 snakes, which include Daphne here, are snakes that are going to have to stay a little bit longer because they have some medical, physical, nutritional, or behavioral rehab that needs to be done. Or we're assessing them for some specific thing and we're not quite sure where they fit yet. So that is group 2. So group 1, ready for adoption. Group 2, they're going to have to stay a little bit longer, and Daphne thinks I'm going to feed her. All of these snakes are very hungry, and it looks like she's coming out, and she's under socialized. So I don't want to have a miscommunication here, so I'm going to zip her back in the tent. All right, group 1, ready for adoption. Group 2 has to stay a little bit longer, maybe 4 to 6 months. Group 3, long-term stays. They have things massively wrong with them in some way, shape, or form. We don't know if they will ever be deemed ready for adoption, and some may have to be euthanized or may not even make it through their rehab. So that's group 3. So the phases are kind of the opposite. So phase 1 is everybody's here. They're getting assessed and they're not ready for adoption yet. Phase 2 is they're ready for adoption. And then phase 3 is they're ready for transport. So I think I got it right this time. Tracy can yell at me if I didn't, but I didn't want any confusion there. So one more time, I'm going to sign off and tell everybody to please be kind, love your animals. And if you want to help these snakes, you can do that through our Amazon wish list, our Chewy's wish list, through the PayPal Giving Fund, or you can call Critter Care Animal Hospital and donate directly because we have future veterinary visits pending. Thank you so much, everybody. And I appreciate all of you who have already donated and shared about our rescue operation.